time for Guess What Type, and today we're going to talk about a type that goes with the flow, pretty chill people. You know what? They live in the present more probably than any other personality type on the Enneagram. They're not really lingering in the past like some types, type 4, and they're not really anticipating the future so much like type 7. However, they're in the moment, which is a great place to be. These are probably the nicest people because they avoid conflict. Key thing here is that they try to avoid conflict at all costs. The healthier they are, they can engage in conflict, and that's where we step in and we try to help these people out in terms of relationships and confronting conflict. Guess what type? I'm not going to tell you this time. Hi, it's Lisa. I'd like to talk to you today about coaching a 9 on the Enneagram and a 6. The 9 tends to be very chill. They're not into arguing. They're not into conflict. They're not even into looking at worst case scenarios. But a 6, on the other hand, is looking at worst case scenarios. Sometimes they're in the catastrophizing mode, which means that they're looking at the worst case scenarios. And what happens is there's a huge disconnect in the orientation, not only in the perceptual orientation, but also in the communication styles. So we're working with this couple, and we're trying to get them to see through the eyes of the Enneagram what they're about, and so they don't have argumentation, and as well as so they can connect in a better way, and it's quite challenging. So give us a call, give us a shout out. Let's for a moment bring the Enneagram into this discussion in terms of type 7 and 1 in a relationship. You have a 7 and a 1. 7s are the adventurous type, risk-taking. Basically, they like to sometimes thrill-seeking. And 1s are the opposite of that. 1s are basically, no, I'm not doing that, it's wrong. They have a very high sense of moral code. So there's a lot of conflict we see in the relationship between a 7 and a 1. And how we get couples to understand each other is we give them the Enneagram, we let them read about their type, and then we discuss what are ways we can solve these problems. Because if you are hardwired as a 7 or a 1, you may be arguing frequently, and that might be the root of the issue, and we can delve into the Enneagram. We're working with 2 6s on the Enneagram, and there's a lot of distrust, and we're trying to get them to trust one another, but apparently there's been some infidelity with like emotional infidelity on both parts. It's not clear. I mean, these are 2 law enforcement officials, so it's really problematic, and we're trying to get to a place where there's full honesty, full disclosure, full transparency. And I'll tell you again, social media is hurting another relationship. This goes on and on in terms of how social media, people are texting and flirting and trying to establish new relationships with their social media platforms. It could be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it goes on and on. But however, we want to help these 6s, 2 6s, again, their hardwiring is to distrust. So we're trying to get them to trust again. Have a good day. Good morning, it's Lisa. It's time to revisit coaching a 2 and a 5 in a relationship. The 5 is very calm and rational and basically does not need to be bombarded by emotional demands, because technically the 5 is not in the heart center. They're not very emotional people. They're pretty stable people, but they like things in a reasonable manner. What happens with the 2 is that they want from the 5 some emotional content. They can approach them with rationality, but ultimately they want to connect on an emotional basis. So they're really kind of demanding love from the 5, and the 5 really can't give that emotionality. So we see a lot of conflict around this. Shout out, give me your thoughts, take care, and have a good day.